Hello everyone and welcome back to the Find Your Peak Fitness podcast. My name is Megan Morensky and today I'm going to tell you exactly how you can make gains whilst you're on holiday. If I told you that you could enjoy your holiday, drink your cocktails, indulge in local delicacies and make gains at the same time, would you believe me? Probably not. Most people think it's either discipline or enjoyment, and trust me, I know the feeling. This used to be me. I was either on or I was off. And typically when I was on vacation, I was off. I was dead. I didn't want to train. I would indulge in a lot of booze, a lot of unhealthy food. I would not look at my steps. My sleep was disrupted. But when I came back from holiday, I was back on it. It was that all or nothing mindset. I'm going to tell you how you can enjoy your vacation and still make gains at the same time, even progress. It's not even a stall in progression. You can still progress while you're on vacation. And this is something that I've recently really started to practice these last couple of years, is finding more balance in my life. Rather than being that all or nothing, it's the dimmer switch mentality. So even if I'm out of routine, I can still make progress and make gains. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. So first things first is the preparation starts before you leave. You've probably heard me say this before, but if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Okay, preparation is everything. So before you even start packing your suitcase, your success of your vacation starts in the planning process. So depending on what means you're traveling by, but let's start with if you're flying. Okay, so how do you stay on track when you're actually traveling to your vacation and if you're flying there? Make sure that you're packing high protein foods for starters that are travel friendly, that will get through security. So things like protein bars, beef jerky. If you want to be that person, you can bring tuna packets. Personally, I don't do that just because it stinks. But you can. Fruit, rice cakes, protein powder, or even sandwiches. But you want to make sure that you're bringing foods that will keep you full and prevent you from overeating while you're traveling. If we do not pack anything, then the options that are at airports or petrol stations or whatever you're stopping aren't really the best. And not to mention, they're really expensive as well. So making sure that you prepare your meals or your snacks that tide you over for that travel time. One of my favorite things is I always have fruit. So usually it's a banana or an apple or both. I'll take a protein bar with me and sometimes even like a little Ziploc baggie of like almonds or mixed nuts or even some trail mix. But things that I can get through security and they're easy to pack. They don't kind of go bad unless you've got a kind of mushy banana. But these things will keep and they're easy to conceal and easy to get through security and easy to travel with. Now, if you're driving, this actually makes things a little bit easier. You can pack actual meals with you when you're traveling, when you're driving. You can put them in Tupperware and you can put it in a cooler. This is something I do a lot when we go on long road trips, is I'll pack my cooler full of good, healthy snacks and sometimes even meals rather than us stopping. And also I'm saving money, but it's also I can control my meals in my Tupperware. If you're struggling to come up with meals that are travel friendly, that would like fit your macros, then I suggest going online, going on ChatGPT and typing in some like easy meals to prepare in advance that you can put in a Tupperware and you'll be good to go. Another option is you can actually research stops that are on your route that you can stop at and look up the menu in advance. So that means you're still staying on track. But it's amazing what a little planning does. It removes all temptation and allows you to stay on track while you're working towards your goals. Even if you're totally out of routine, even if you're not getting movement in, if you're stuck in a plane all day, you're still getting good nutrition coming in. Okay, it's just a barrier. We can choose to give into it, but like, oh, well, I'm traveling. I just have to eat airport food. No, you don't. You don't. There's ways around it. There's things that you can do. There's things that you can prepare in advance to help you stay on track. The next thing, and this stems back to when you're actually planning your vacation, is setting up where you're going to stay. Whenever possible, I would highly consider choosing to stay in an Airbnb over a hotel. This is because you have access to your own kitchen. Usually in hotels, you have a fridge and a microwave at most. But if you get an Airbnb, you have a full kitchen somewhere you can cook your meals and you can prepare and you can still control your meals coming in. It can also often work out cheaper as well. Now, before you arrive at your accommodation, I suggest looking up the nearest grocery store. Make a simple shopping list. This shouldn't look too much different than your usual shopping list. So lots of protein, lots of fruits and veggies, some healthy snacks. But buy foods that are easy for your breakfast and your lunch. That way you're only eating out once a day, maybe twice depending on what your day looks like. Personally, when we travel, we enjoy to have our breakfasts pretty much the same as what we do when we're at home. So eggs, egg whites, usually some sourdough bread and some fruit. Because we're on holiday, we may mix it up a little bit, maybe do some like high protein pancakes, but typically we know what we like and we stick to it. And it helps us with that structure even when we're out of routine. And then lunches, it depends on what we're doing that day, but usually I do like to have some sort of, big salad with me or if we're eating out, still choosing some good healthy meal. And then usually I try to keep my calories more towards the end of the day, because that's usually when we want to enjoy the dinners, the local cuisines, or whatever we're doing. But you're not only going to save money from doing this, but you're also going to be saving a ton of calories as well. This will keep you in check when you're out of routine and on vacation. The next thing is to find a local gym. So when you're looking at your accommodation, before you even book it, I suggest looking up the local gyms in the area. Most places will have gyms that offer day passes or week passes. However, I've noticed that many of the gyms don't advertise these as membership options on their website, so I suggest just calling them. If they don't have a week pass or a day pass offered on their website, give them a call and ask them. Most gyms will accommodate because you're giving them business. And choose a gym that's close to your accommodation. If it's like 20-30 minutes out the way, it just adds an extra barrier of you training while you're on holiday. So I suggest trying to find something that's like within the 15 minutes. That way it's removing the barrier from you sleeping in and telling you, I just can't be bothered today. If you're traveling with someone, then that's even better. Make them your workout partner for the week. That is extra accountability for you when you're on holiday. It means you have someone there that you can actually train with, and you might find it enjoyable. One thing that I find is if you actually stick with training and just dim down that dimmer switch a little bit when you're on holiday, you can still enjoy it, but you don't feel as crap either. Like when you come back to your normal routine, it doesn't feel like as big a jump. You don't get insane holiday blues. It's kind of like, well, I didn't even sway that much off. I enjoyed myself, but all I have to do is there's not much I have to do to kind of get back on track. The next thing is to plan your training. Now, this is assuming that when you're on holiday, you have things planned. You're not just like got all day to spare, but don't wait until you're on vacation to decide the days and the times that you're going to train. Schedule your sessions just like you would with appointments and just like you would when you're at home. Okay, so figure out the days that you're training and what time you're training as well. Maybe it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and maybe you have to get up early and get it done before everyone is up, and it means you have the rest of the day free. Maybe it's when everyone's on their downtime. Maybe it's in the afternoon and you can go and sneak off to the gym for a little bit. But just schedule it in like you would normally. If you don't schedule it in, then the chances of it getting done, especially on vacation, are pretty slim. And just remember that your workouts don't have to be perfect either. Even a quick 30 to 45 minute workout is better than nothing. This will keep you in check, and like I said, you will feel so much better for it. Now, I've said this in previous episodes and I said this at the start, but I want you to think of your vacation kind of like a dimmer switch. Okay, like I said, the trap that I used to fall into was I would be on or off. If I was on vacation, then I was off. And usually that off switch went off before I even went on vacation. And then it was still off when I came back. So it took me a couple of days to really get my motivation going again. But something I like to teach my clients is the dimmer switch, okay? So when you're on vacation, you just dimmer that switch right down, okay? Or maybe not right down, but maybe just a smidge. It depends on the situation. Everything's in context. But this avoids the all or nothing mindset. Too many people treat holidays like it's permission to just go crazy. It's almost like a dirty bulk. You know, there's no such thing as a dirty bulk. That is just as an excuse to eat crap. Vacation is almost the same. If you just like, well, I'm on vacation, you're just telling yourself a lie and an excuse to totally overindulge, okay? Now, this doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Of course you can. You can still enjoy your cocktails and your local delicacies, like I said right at the beginning. But instead of viewing it as, okay, I'm totally off, simply view it as you're just dialing the intensity back a little bit. So maybe you train a little bit less, maybe you're in the gym a little bit less, maybe you're not in there every single day, maybe you just go 3 times in the week. You've got a bit more flexibility, but enjoy the local food, have the dessert, have the cocktails, but keep non-negotiables in place. So things like staying on top of your hydration, getting in at least 3 workouts in, maybe still loosely tracking, you know, packing your protein powder, still taking your creatine. That way, when you return home and you return back to your routine, you'll feel proud of yourself rather than beating yourself up and trying to get quote unquote back on track. So just remember that fitness isn't about being perfect 100% of the time. It's the consistency over perfection. And you've probably heard me say that before, but it absolutely is. If you can be consistent for months and years, that is what's going to get you long-term success. It's not the perfection on that 1 day or 2 days out of the week. It's the consistency over time. So enjoy your vacation, embrace the new experiences, and prove to yourself that you can stay quote-unquote on track while on holiday. And you'd be amazed at the progress you can make. If you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as you never know who you might inspire in the process. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next episode.